All right, welcome to Risk It for the Brisket podcast. We've gone through a couple of iterations of this through the last couple of years. Chris and I started Murphy's Law, and then we switched over to Fuelcast. We're going to keep Fuelcast, that portion of it, alive, and then we're going to start to add some other podcasts to it. So we're kind of renaming my podcast back to the original Risk It for the Brisket.
We just keep layering on shit to confuse everybody.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, we get confused ourselves, which we say that a lot.
But so we've been off for a little while. We've also been in court, which I know you didn't get a chance to attend, but
that's bullshit that not everything's on Zoom.
Well, it bugs me. I wish everything was on Zoom. Partly I understand why it isn't. You know, sometimes there is some privacy issues there. But again, it's a public forum. It's in court. If you can make it to court, why is it not?
Well, not only that, but the shit they do air out on Zoom.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, there's definitely cases involving domestics and children in the probate system. So
yeah,
why a legal standard-based case wouldn't be televised? And the fact they don't keep them on there to go back and review. Yeah,
we tried to stream it, and we did, sort of successfully. It's difficult in the courtroom there, you know, not with great Wi-Fi or anything right there. So it is out there. We're going to put it together, clean it up a little bit. There's quite a bit to dissect in that whole thing that happened. For anybody that's not sure exactly what we're referring to, so the Iron Pig took the Health Department of Northwest Michigan to court, basically suing them for declaratory action, which basically it's not money damages. It's just seeking for a judge to declare.
Essentially just wanting the state to admit the wrongdoing.
Yeah, we want clarification on 5 additional statutes. 2 of the 5 were used against me and the Iron Pig when they shut us down. Additional statutes were used or very adjacent to these other ones.
Well, and what's important to note is that I know you hear it all the time, as I do as well, is why is it still going? I mean, this was put to bed years ago. Why is it still going on? It's a moot point, as the state likes to use that word.
Yeah.
The whole point of this continuing to go on is so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
It's to admit on record, as Judge Hunter cited in his ruling, that it was wrong. It was a wrong decision. Stopping them from being able to do it again the next time somebody wants to scream COVID.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And you're right. He did say it. I should actually have it plastered on the wall here too. It's the available power there. It's still there. It may have been rescinded because, you know, the emergency orders are over or whatever, but that power is still available to them. The local health officer, in this case, and health director is what we're going after. Versus before it was the state health director, and Hunter knocked that down. So finally, we had requested it in person, and it's about time. COVID is over. Give us the in-person hearing. So Judge Hunter granted the in-person hearings. He granted our media request to have cameras and audio present. So we did stream it, and we get to go first. And the judge had allotted plenty of time for us. And the judge can interrupt at any time. So this is just oral argument, right? So there's no jury, there's none of this stuff. There's no real evidence that can be submitted because it's all just a question of constitutionality. So there was no, look at these Facebook posts and all this dramatic bullshit that, Andrea Mua and Darren Fowler and the rest of these kids tried to bring into these other things because they knew that that's how they could convince a judge.
God, you say Darren's name, I still picture him in like Robin Hood tights.
Yeah, no.
The thespian.
Yeah, Google Darren Fowler.
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan or Darren Fowler on YouTube. Few Good Men. He is a fantastic thespian. Thespian. I said thespian. Don't come after me. Don't come after me. I said thespian. I don't want to get in trouble.
You can't handle the truth
for misgendering, mispronouncing.
Oh God, he is no Tom Cruise.
I don't know. Again, he's probably a very nice fella, and we probably would get along famously if we were having a beer at the bar. But who knows? Or maybe not. Who knows? And I frankly don't give a shit.
No.
But anyway, so this hearing the other day was our first chance to get in court and to actually sit down and be face to face and have people come into court and support us. Virtually nobody came to support the health department.
Zoom at the end of the day.
Zoom is sort of entertaining, but it was nice to get our actual day in court, figuratively and metaphorically. Wittily. But so David creates this, and the judge already has these briefs, these arguments. So there isn't a whole lot of new things that we can add, but we can add context to some of the additional things.
And when he says briefs, we're not talking about underwear.
Not underwear. No, not
I
this
hope
time.
the judge has briefs.
David is a hockey player, so I'm sure he has plenty of stories.
Yeah.
But
Don't start.
so he starts kind of making this picture about the founding fathers and James Madison and separation of powers and why we left England and what the Declaration of Independence was actually saying. And Judge Hunter interrupts him, and he says, "Mr. Delaney, I this court is well aware of the history and he was. I'm glad he kind of came out right from the beginning and said, come on, let's.
Yeah, Hunter's always been kind of.
We've got time, but come on." And David was like, "Yeah, I totally get it, Your Honor. I'm trying to, And he was in a way speaking to the crowd, if you will. And some people may disagree with that tactic, but that is also what we're trying to. Well, but people also need to understand exactly what it is that we're trying to do.
We also talked about.
He tries to make it sound like what we're trying to do is eradicate any chance that the local or state health department has in curbing or correcting or mitigating a public health crisis.
Well, and again,
and that's not true because the EMA still exists.
Yeah, and let's start from what I understand from somebody that was attending the hearing. The attorney for the health department danced around in circles talking about there's a reason we don't need to do all these theatrics and have all these hearings and all these other things to happen to us because that's what the courts are for. Well, no shit. Were you not in the courtroom? But did he not? Am I correct from what I heard? Was that he kept saying there's no reason for all this conversation and banter and back and forth and all these different hearings because that's what we have the court system for.
Yes. That was part of the argument that he made when discussing 2 or 3 of these statutes that we brought to Judge Hunter. And what he was referring to was a probate remedy. From the beginning, due process has been at the center of this whole thing. I and many, many others were robbed of due process from the jump. From the simplest thing, and you'll remember this as soon as I say it. They didn't give us proper notice, right? Per this law, per the executive order especially, they were supposed to certify mail, or somebody from the state or local health department was supposed to come and physically serve these documents shutting us down.
As they did at Michigan State, or was it you at Michigan State? Wasn't it?
So one of the examples that we brought forth was in East Lansing.
Yeah, Michigan State.
So there was a COVID outbreak at many of the sororities, and
they delivered notice to the front door.
Right on the front door. Said, listen, this is a COVID hotspot. It is known. They did testing. There is actual proof. Now we can talk about the testing and how adequate and efficient that was.
But they came to the front door and went, "Here's your notice."
And said, "Listen, this is a known COVID hotspot. You as an adult should take precaution. It is upon you whether or not you enter the premises, this building." And what's ironic about this that you mentioned that, and I love that you bring it up, is that inside that statute, the Eaton County, is it Eaton? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Their local health department, what they used was the statute that we're challenging, and they said that this building harbors an infectious disease. The building. The building. How the fuck can a building harbor an infection?
Not a person.
Stupid.
It's also stupid.
Stupid.
But yeah, it's the fact, and they didn't do that. So that was the person that was set, and one of the many fuck ups that the state did was not serving notice.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we all heard and watched the news, which news is always accurate and it's always right, but, well, you should have watched the news, Ian. All businesses learn it from the news. It's on the news.
Yeah. Well, see, this was part of what we were saying from the beginning, and what we're still saying to this day is that in these statutes, there is no metrics. There is nothing to say other than at the discretion of the health officers, not even the friggin' director right? And of course, these people have qualifications by state law. They have to have X degree or X qualifications. So we're not saying
Yeah, you gotta meet the
that
checklist.
these people are not qualified to be in these positions. What we're saying is they're unelected. And unelected people in our country should not have this amount of power.
And we went through that hell.
Why is that so hard?
We went through that hell with our former director of the health department and trying to get her.
Lisa.
Oh, Lisa Peacock. How could we forget that name? But look how much hell the health department had to go to get rid of her.
Right. Right, because she's under contract. Even worse, she's under contract. She's not an at-will employee.
Which everybody in the state of Michigan should be an at-will employee. But certain...
Wait, $250,000 to get rid of our local health director that unilaterally shut down schools, put masks, and then caused a lawsuit that's still going. That'll be heard in front of the Supreme Court.
And not one time has she accepted any responsibility.
Oh no!
She rode off into the sunset.
But she didn't have to, dude.
No,
she didn't have to, because she had the CDC and she had the Fauci and she had everything else that was standing behind her and said, "Wow, don't get mad at me. Get mad at those guys. Get mad at those guys.
I can do what I want."
Social distancing is a thing. Here's the evidence.
Fuck! Remember?
I'll copy and paste it to you.
Remember walking to the grocery store with those stupid fucking arrows?
Oh, the stickers on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still inexpensive currency stores located throughout town.
Yeah.
They have X's outside on the sidewalks.
Dude, our local post office still has the plexiglass up.
What the fuck?
I'm just saying. Some of these things are just, now that the science that everybody mandated that you have to go by says the exact opposite.
I still see people occasionally wearing a mask
on the struggle bus with this shit.
A mask in a car by themselves. I walked into business the other day to
by the way, there were no masks on in the courtroom the other day.
Nobody died. But I walked into an office the other day to get something done, and there's probably 7-8 people inside the office working with the public. One person had a mask on. I was like, "What the fuck? What?"
This is the thing, you got to look at this and you have to understand. Okay, so there could be extenuating circumstances, right? Unfortunately, right now my family is riddled with cancer, and immunocompromisation is a thing.
You would wear an N95 for the most part if you wanted to. You're not throwing a rag around.
I can't disagree with that.
The extenuating circumstances, we all know, and we have followed the actual science, that a lot of these shit show Chinese, ironically imported masks don't do anything, just like these people that took handkerchiefs and put over their mouth. Yeah. But to see people driving around in their car by themselves this day just makes me, what the fuck?
But see, this is the entire point of why we're still in court going after this shit, because there's no reason why these people should have so much influence and power over an individual, right? According to these laws, they can come into your business, your home, if they declare you harboring an infectious disease, which again, that is literally the language. Mm-hmm. There isn't, and it says, if this place has 10% more cases, then there is no other specification other than a health director reasonably believes this person, or the building statute says this building harbors an infectious disease.
Which, just remind folks that might be listening, how many COVID cases came out of the pig?
Oh, none.
None. Not one.
No, not even a contact trace. Not even the only restaurant to stay open the entirety of the pandemic, except for 10 days, 0 COVID, 0 contact tracing. They still cannot figure out how that was possible. I mean, I can, but they can't. They can't. And the best part is they had to admit that on the record. The health department had to say.
Well, you and I can, and everybody that was here pretty much every day throughout that time period can.
Right.
It's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Especially considering, where I typically sit, the cash register is right behind me.
Right.
So people from all over the fucking country, from Cincinnati, from Tennessee, from Texas, from Colorado.
Yeah.
Weird. Didn't get sick. Either I've got one hell of an immune system, or there's the fact that it might have been bullshit.
Listen, we were one of the COVID hotspots in the state, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're on the crossroads. We know with M32 and I-75, and there were even people that tried to come after me for that. I'm like, "This is your fault."
You brought people up here.
What? Are Are you kidding me? It's my fault that Otsego County COVID numbers have spiked. Like, you just can't even you can't even have a rational conversation with somebody that is just that far gone.
No, and it was so bad that there was times, and I think I remember this occasion where you and I would both get, and our good friends of ours would just get so fucking pissed off that would just, I know I did, I'm guilty of it, where I would just walk into a fucking business, sometimes easy come, easy go, without a mask, just to say, fuck you.
I love that reference.
Just to say, fuck you, throw a middle finger, just to ruin their fucking day.
Yeah.
Because they're so bizarre in their behavior.
Yeah. Unexplainable.
And to this day, it still is.
Yes.
Which is when we go back to that Gaylord helping people.
I guess I shouldn't say unexplainable, because I actually can. I mean, indoctrination is an amazing, powerful thing.
It is. And the keyboard warriors and the virtue signaling.